How far did the Tesla Autopilot evolve with the full self-driving feature here in Europe, driving in city traffic? Now I can find out after my Tesla Model 3 was updated with the hardware version 3.0. As a standard, it works similar like when I was using the 2.5 hardware, with one exception, that now the car reads the speed signs. But in order to get use of all the features, it's needed to enable them and accept that this is a software in beta, and that you have to pay attention and monitoring the car's action all the time and be prepared to intervene at any moment. I would normally not drive like this, but for the purpose of this video I waited until the last second, giving the autopilot a chance to react before I intervened. And in this case the car didn't behave the right way. But we will analyze this event a little bit later. The traffic light and stop sign control is maybe the most exciting thing to try out and see how the car behaves. It works like this. When approaching a traffic light, a message appears on the screen that the car is approaching a traffic light. And coming closer, the car starts to slow down, whatever color the traffic light has, even if it's green. Note the red line that the car expects to stop at. If the traffic light is green, and I as a driver confirm that by pushing a light down on the left lever, the line turns green and the car proceeds straight through the crossing. And I can also use the accelerator to confirm that I would like to proceed through the crossing. The first spontaneously feeling is that the car stops very late and hard using the brakes when discovering the red light. Personally, I plan ahead much more and adjust the speed in an earlier stage. Here, in this moment, I even needed to brake manually since the car passed the stop line. But the reason for this behavior is probably in this crossing, the trees that is blocking the view of the red right light, so the car discover it very late. Another thing is that this version of the software can only drive the car straight in a crossing, so giving the autopilot clearance to pass a green left arrow works, but when the lane turns, the autopilot don't want to participate anymore. So since I was keeping my hands on the steering wheel, I could immediately take over and steer the car into the right path. Here, another odd traffic solution, with a traffic light for pedestrians just before entering a roundabout. The car passes the green light, but the roundabout the autopilot cannot manage. I tried several roundabouts slowly, but none of them can be handled by the autopilot. But on the other hand, there is no documentation from Tesla that this software version could support driving in roundabouts. So, can I expect it? Hardly not, right? The traffic light feature worked much better when all the traffic lights was clearly visible and the car then stopped for the red light in the right position. Still not soft braking, but it works. When the light got green, I had to confirm with a left lever and the car started and accelerated to the previous set speed. If I don't confirm, the car will slow down and eventually stop, even if the light was green. On the other hand, if I confirm at an early stage that I can pass through the crossing, and the light changes to red afterwards, still the car reacts the right way and stops for the red light. Another thing with Autopilot is that it's always driving in the middle where everyone else drives, making the ride bumpy, especially when the local road maintenance team didn't do their work and the road is weared out like this. Then it's necessary to take over manually and adjust the wheels so they will avoid the potholes. The stop sign control works like this, that the car stops at the stop sign, right? But I don't know how the traffic laws is in different countries around the world, but here in Sweden you're supposed to stop at a line in the road associated with the stop sign, not at the stop sign itself. But the Autopilot stops at the stop sign, not at a line that in this case is coming after the stop sign. Confirming makes the car going again. This doesn't make the function so practical when the car stops in a position where the view of the oncoming traffic is blocked by objects on the side of the road. Then you have to stop twice. One thing that Autopilot don't understand or is familiar with is the lights at a railroad crossing. It thinks that this is a traffic light and is confused, taking the white color that is blinking, telling you that you can pass, for red. On this railroad crossing I don't understand what happened. The car even showed a red stop line, but passed anyway. So with railroad crossings, Tesla has some work to do. It's very popular by the road authorities to put in these narrowings on local roads in order to force the traffic to slow down. They are everywhere. In some places even a bus stop is fitted into them, so the traffic has to wait for the bus. But how is the Autopilot handling this kind of road arrangements? Here I'm driving against one of these narrowings and is prepared to take over if there is no reaction from the car. What is happening here? The Autopilot drove against the narrowing without no tendency to move the car into the middle to safely pass through the narrowing. It went so far that even the collide warning kicked in. And then I took over and steered the car out of the situation. What about the speed? Now in this version, at least the car drives the correct speed, since the car now reads the speed signs, not guessing from a geo-stored data that not always is up to date. But still the car didn't learn how to reduce the speed before passing a speed sign that lowers the allowed speed. It's reducing the speed after passing the speed sign, which is, at least in my country, not a correct behavior. So there you go, some examples of what the Autopilot here in Europe is capable of doing in this early summer of 2021. As you can see, there is much left to do before we truly can say that the car is full self-driving. I wonder what will be the next step when it comes to the self-driving features that will be released here in Europe. But I guess we will have to wait a while, because right now Tesla is quite busy with full self-driving software that is supposed to be ready for United States. The beta tests they are running in cars in the US right now is really driving themselves without much intervening of the driver. And that is really cool, and you can see a lot of videos on YouTube where people are showing what the car is capable of doing. So I recommend you to go and check them out to see what the future looks like. Well, it's summer and I'm like completely attacked by mosquitoes here, so right now I have to finish. But if you like this kind of road videos that I have done this time, comment in the section below, and I might consider doing more of them later in the future episodes. And also, if you like my channel and haven't already, now another mosquito is coming here, please do subscribe to my channel, and until next time, have a great life.